This video is brought to you by all my Patreon supporters. Go Team Awesome!
Yokoso peeps, it's Oz. As you can tell by my glasses, this means it's a serious video. So I'm actually making a video about a topic that's been in the news lately. As you can tell by the title, it's about Hana Kimura and her suicide. So I'd already heard about the news, not only from Japanese news, but from international sites as well. So I already knew about her suicide. But and I kind of wanted to address it, but I don't really do videos like that. But because a viewer asked me to share my thoughts, I thought it would be a good idea because it's kind of something that was on my mind anyway. So here are my thoughts on this unfortunate but recently becoming popular tragedy, cyberbullying. So before I get into my actual thoughts about cyberbullying and the state of cyberbullying and internet harassment, before I get into that topic, I quickly wanted to just go over the story of Hana Kimura for those of you who haven't heard about it yet or don't know who she is. So Hana Kimura is actually the daughter of a professional Japanese wrestling woman. Her name is Kyoko Kimura. So Hana followed in her mother's footsteps. She wanted to be a professional wrestler. She went to wrestling university and she started wrestling, I believe, when she was 17 or 18. And she had her first fight when she was 19. And although she was popular amongst the wrestling crowd, she wasn't really well known in Japan until she appeared on a reality TV show called Terrace House. Unfortunately, it was being on this show that was a major reason why she decided to end her life. So like I said, Terrace House is a reality show. It's a Japanese version similar to, I guess, Big Brother or those kind of like dating or island kind of, I guess, reality shows, except that this one takes place in a house and it's not as dramatic and as like backstabby. It's usually a fancy house in a fancy neighborhood with young and good-looking business people or career people who are looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend. They're basically looking for love on this reality TV show, but unlike some shows like The Bachelor, this one is more realistic. It's just about people's everyday lives. They go to work to their regular jobs, then they come home and they interact with each other. It's like living in a dorm at a university. There's of course going to be drama between men and women, either jealousy or flirting or love or somebody cheating on somebody else or deception or lies. So there's always a little bit of drama going on, but it's a lot tamer than any other reality show that I've ever seen. At least that's what I got from the few episodes I watched. I used to watch it a couple of years ago. I think I watched maybe half a season and then I just kind of lost interest. So cyberbullying or cyber harassment is very easy to define. It's basically bullying online. And recently, since the internet and social media has grown so much, it's been a popular trend. There's been a lot of people who have been cyberbullied, not only in Japan but around the world. And this trend has affected a lot of people, especially people in the public eye. A lot of YouTubers or actors or actresses or models or musicians who have faced cyberbullying end up either deleting their accounts, having a mental breakdown, committing some kind of a crime, and in worst case scenarios, killing somebody or themselves. And to tell you the truth, I haven't watched this year's Terrace House in Japan, so I don't know exactly what happened that caused a lot of people to cyberbully Hana Kimura, which ended up causing her to kill herself. What I did get from reading some of the articles about her suicide was that there was an episode where she had left her wrestling uniform in the laundry and another roommate of the Terrace House ended up doing his laundry and mixed it in with her laundry and her uniform shrunk or something like that. And basically she didn't react too well to it. She kind of got angry, she got upset and confronted him, and it caused a lot of friction. But it also said that at the end of the show they had pretty much resolved their differences and it didn't look like that it was a big deal for the roommates itself. But unfortunately the public saw it very differently, and that's when I guess the harassment really started. So a lot of Japanese people watching the show who were not happy with her let her know via social media, I think Instagram and Twitter mostly, and left a lot of bad comments. Once again, I didn't look into it too much, but according to the articles, there was a lot of comments like, you shouldn't be on TV if you're gonna act like that, or you should go kill yourself, or you're a terrible person, or just bad things that usually a lot of people leave in YouTube comment sections and Twitter and Instagram anyway, like hate comments and trolls. So my thoughts on both the situation of Hana Kimura as well as the situation of cyberbullying in general. I'm kind of torn between being angry at the general public and the people who leave these kind of hate comments, as well as the people who take them to heart and end up doing something bad. Now let me explain why. First of all, bullying in general has been around forever. I'm sure during the caveman days, the bigger, stronger caveman beat up the weaker, smaller caveman. That's just the way life is. That's just the way power struggles work. It's part of human nature to be stronger or better looking or more powerful than someone else and to have control over them. Everyone wants to be more successful and feel more superior than other people. So bullying has been around forever, and cyberbullying I feel is like an extension. And one thing that really bothers me is a lot of older people, either my generation or even older than me, basically say that all the young people are too sensitive nowadays and they take everything too literally, or they're snowflakes and stuff like that. And they always say stuff like, oh well, when we were young in the 80s or whatever, we got beat up, or our parents beat us and we never complained. And maybe you're right. Maybe when we were younger, bullying was just like a regular part of life. Someone stealing your lunch money or throwing you in the locker or punching you after school was just something that you had to deal with. And maybe it went beyond that. Maybe you were bullied not just by one or two people. Maybe you were bullied by your entire school, or possibly even your entire neighborhood. And that was tough. Sometimes in the morning you'd be scared to go to school because you know a bully might be waiting for you. And looking at me, I'm sure you can guess that I was bullied too. I can remember two bullies right off my top of my head that come to mind are one bully in elementary school. His name was Sean, and another bully that always used to beat up on me and stuff was in junior high school named George. And it was tough because I was small and I was different and I was an easy target. Now magnify my Seans and my Georges into thousands or millions. And that's what cyberbullying is. For all those people who are saying cyberbullying is not a big deal and we're being too sensitive, you've probably never been cyberbullied. Maybe you were bullied when you were young, but at that time there was no internet, or if there was internet, there was no Facebook, there was no YouTube, there was no Twitter, there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok, there was no social media where everybody's eyes were on you. So I don't think you can compare your 80s bullying from like one or two kids to millions of people or thousands of people throwing hate onto you. And I don't think the age is the only thing too. It's just you've never been cyberbullied, so you can't empathize with those people. But ask any person, whether they're a child, a teenager, an adult, or even a senior that's been cyberbullied, and you'll know that it's not fun, and it's just as bad, if not worse, than regular bullying. So sorry, I went off on a tangent, but first of all, I wanted to say I'm really angry at the people online. So as a person that's been making videos on YouTube since 2009, I've had my share of, I guess, bullies or trolls or hate comments in the last 11 years on YouTube. Luckily, I'm not a big famous YouTuber, nor am I a public like celebrity or like someone in the public eye that much, so my hate comments are usually few and far between. And to tell you the truth, no matter how much I try to brush it off, it does still hurt. It kind of like ruins my day, and even though I'm not really angry, all I can really think about is that negative comment and what I'm gonna say to either like fight back for myself, or just wondering why it is that that person said what they said. So like I said, I only get those comments once in a while. So imagine if I got all those comments all within a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and like multiplied by 1,000. And I'm older, and I was around when there was no smartphones and no social media. So for me, it's kind of something new, so it doesn't affect me as much. But I'm trying to think about the people who grew up after cell phones were just a regular thing, and it's a part of everyday life for them, so I can see how much more it would affect them. It's almost like in my generation, it would be similar to having a TV and someone on the television talking directly to me and saying, Oz, you're an effing asshole, we hate you, I hope you die, just over and over again on the television. And that's pretty much what social media is, because now everybody has that platform. So I'm really frustrated at the people who use this platform to spread their hate. They know they can say anything and it won't affect them, it'll only affect the person that they're aiming it at. I wonder if people were held responsible for the comments they made if things would change. For example, in this Hana Kimura case, what if everyone who made those bad comments like you should die or go kill yourself, what if those people were sought out and arrested and charged for accessory to murder or something like that? Would that change the way we deal with cyberbullying? And I'm just talking out of my ass because we all know that's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. I mean, the Japanese government is saying they're going to try to find ways to cut down on cyberbullying and that kind of stuff. But the honest truth is there's nothing any government can really do to stop people from spreading hate. And the person themselves, they can block comments or they can remove them. But once you've seen the comment, even if you erase it or block it or reply to it, you can't get it out of your head. So I think the only way to stop cyberbullying is for the people who are doing the cyberbullying to stop it themselves. And I've watched millions of videos probably by now, and I can't even think of one instance where I watched a video and decided, you know what, I don't like this person or I don't like this video. I'm gonna make a comment and say, I hate you and I hope you die. I've never ever left a negative comment for anyone in my entire internet history. The only time I've ever said anything negative is when someone sends me a hate comment and I always have to defend myself. I never tell them to go F themselves or anything. I always like fight back and show my point of view. But I've never intentionally gone on to someone else's site, either Instagram or Facebook or anything, and left any kind of hate messages. So now the reason why I'm actually kind of angry and frustrated at Hana and people who have been cyberbullied. Not just Hana, but a lot of people who have been cyberbullied take it to heart and they start believing everything that the people are saying about them, and they basically blame themselves. So like I said, I didn't watch the show, but I'm sure that Hana, after having that breakdown on TV and getting angry at that guy, I'm sure she felt guilty about doing that. I don't know if in the show she apologized to him, but it seemed like they worked it out, so she must have. And even off air or through social media, through email or whatever, messaging, whatever, I'm sure they were pretty cool. So I don't think that guy that she got angry at held a grudge towards her, and I'm pretty sure she had apologized or at least shown kind of like regret for acting the way she did. And other than having a negative reaction to someone destroying accidentally a property of theirs that really meant a lot to them, I feel like she didn't really do anything wrong besides that one reaction. And it's something that most of us have probably all done. If you've lived with anybody from family, friends, siblings, roommates, anyone, you've definitely blown up at someone for doing something, even though you know you should have a cool head. People just do that, that's the way people are. But afterwards, no one told me to go kill myself. And that's what makes me sad, because Hana was young, she was 22, and she was beautiful, and she was talented, but she wasn't perfect. Instead of accepting her flaws and forgiving herself and loving herself, she decided to take in all the hate from everyone else and basically believe it herself. She took the negative opinions of people she's never even met over the positive opinions of her friends and her family. So I think this is one of the reasons why cyberbullying affects some people so much, is because their whole life is wrapped up in this online life. And especially if you're a celebrity or you're in the public eye, you tend to lose focus on what matters and you only care about self-promotion and self-image. So personally, if my parents or my sister or my friends, my best friends, said, "Hey Oz, we hate you and we all wish you were dead," that would hurt me. But if a group of people I've never met said that to me, it wouldn't hurt me as much. I mean, I wouldn't like it, but I would try my hardest to block it out. But for some people it's difficult. And also reading more about Hana, I learned that she never knew her father, and her father was possibly of Indonesian descent, so he wasn't Japanese. So she was kind of what we call in Japan a hafu, so she was half Japanese and half something else. And a lot of half Japanese people do get bullied in real life, in school or wherever, because they're not 100% Japanese. So I guess she was already getting bullied a little bit from her real life, and then all this shit happened with the Terrace House thing, and I guess that broke the camel's back. So once again, I say bullying in real life and cyberbullying are exactly the same thing, just using different mouthpieces. I do really feel bad for Hana Kimura and people like her. There's been a lot of not only reality TV stars, but just regular YouTubers or Instagrammers or whatever, just people who kind of got internet famous and who couldn't handle it, and they had breakdowns, or basically they ended up doing what Hana Kimura did and decided to end their life. All I can say is stay strong and talk to people who actually know you, not just fans, because fans are just people who are around when you're popular, and when you do something bad, they turn on you, and when something new comes along, they move on to the next thing anyway. Also, I do recommend, if your whole life is basically online, to try to take a break as much as possible, to limit how much internet, social media, and how much like surfing or scrolling you're doing throughout the day, and try to spend a little bit more time offline, either talking to your friends or your family, or just by yourself, going out and just enjoying real life for a while. After she got all this hate, I didn't know the trouble she went through. I don't know if she reached out to people, but from her posts, it seems like she kind of just kept it to herself, and she just kind of let it build up until she couldn't take it anymore, and then she just sent a couple of goodbye letters and pictures and messages to people and ended her life. I feel like if she had reached out to not just friends and family, but even if online, if she reached out to people who are also in the same boat as her, other talents, other people who are in the Terrace House, or other wrestlers or other public figures, and she had reached out to them and told them or asked them for advice or told them what's going on through her head and on her mind, she probably would have got some more honest and more good advice than just keeping it to herself and just constantly hearing all the bad stuff about her. But I do feel sorry for what happened to her, and I hope she rests in peace. So yeah, I think I just want to end this video here with saying thanks for watching if you got this far. Please tell me about cyberbullying and cyber harassment, or even regular bullying. Have you had any? Have you faced it yourself? And what did you do? And what do you think about it? Anyway, I'm gonna end here. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs up, share if you'd like, and thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe because my videos are awesome. OzzyAwesome. Take care and see you next time. Peace.